dark town full of corruption and bourbon, one man is seeking justice and the best rye whiskey he can drink. He is Ed O'Mara, Private Rye. Hello everyone. How are you doing? This is Ed here on the Rock Cut Review on YouTube, which you knew because that's where you're watching it right now on your phone or computer. Or TV. You can watch it on your TV too, so these days. That's amazing. Technology. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Today we are drinking some rye whiskey, and you guys know I love rye. If you've been watching the channel, you probably also know that my girlfriend Erica, who usually accompanies me for these videos, absolutely hates rye. And yeah, she didn't want to be here. And she's not here. It's just me, running solo. So sorry about that. But I got a rye for you today. And I'm always excited to drink rye. All right, so this is Tin Cup Straight Rye Whiskey. This is made by a gentleman, I'm going to forget his name, Jess Graber is the founder. He also was one of the I think he was like the main guy behind Stranahan's. So this is actually a sourced whiskey. They are sourcing a 95% rye, 5% malted barley mash bill rye from MGP. Because, you know, that's the place everyone sources from. And now here's the thing about that. Some people are kind of dismissive of people who source from MGP because it's like, oh, another guy who sourced from MGP, blah, blah, blah. I don't necessarily dismiss it out of hand. In fact, I think it's a little bit snotty to just dismiss all MGP sourced products out of hand simply because the way you blend it, the way you proof it, what you do with it, if you do anything special with it, that can make a huge difference. And even the barrels you get from MGP, they might vary in quality too, so how and what you do with it after you source it can make a huge difference. Now, it is important that they are very, very open about sourcing their whiskey, because otherwise it gets a little scummy, let's face it. Now, I will say, Tin Cup, they're pretty open about sourcing it. They do have their Distilled in Indiana thing on the back here, so there you go. However, they also call it mountain whiskey. It's here on the label. It says mountain whiskey. So unless the Rocky Mountains suddenly popped up in Indiana, the whiskey portion of this isn't from the mountains. The part of this that's from the mountains is the water they proofed it down with. They proofed it down with Colorado water. So really, the part of this that's actually whiskey is the least mountainous part. But, I guess, you know, whatever. You need a gimmick, right? It seems a little weird to me because they're all like, oh, this is made in honor of Tin Cup, Colorado. And it's supposed to be the rye that settlers would have drank when they were coming into Colorado. And it's like, I guess that's somewhat true. But it's not like you came up with the recipe specifically for Colorado. You added Colorado water, right? I don't know if that counts. Anyhow, enough of me jibber-jabbering. Let's take a look at the whiskey, or a smell, as it were. Damn, that is a pepperminty motherfucking rye. Yeah, that is pretty pepperminty on the nose, at least by my standards. I tend to like ryes that lean into like black pepper and dill and black licorice. I know some people like ryes that are much more green and effervescent kind of tasting. But that's pretty freaking pepperminty. Yeah, quite a bit. That, and there's a lot of barrel influence here. A lot of just like vanilla, caramel, charred wood kind of stuff. But there's maybe a touch of dilliness, a touch of pepper. But yeah, minty and vanilla. Kind of Christmassy, actually. So that's nice, considering the time of year. Let's get a taste. It's not bad. It's really not bad. I think, there's a little bit more barrel influence on this than I would care for. Kind of rubbed out that really spicy pepperiness that I prefer on a rye. Cloves and pepper and that big punch. But nonetheless, it's pretty tasty. That peppermint or the minty flavor kind of carries over into the taste. The finish does have a little bit more spiciness, a little bit more pop to it. Got a little bit of that black pepper. I would say there's a little bit of dill on this. But for the most part, this is kind of a easygoing, dare I say, smooth rye. Just kind of vanilla, caramel, just a little bit of punch. For 45% alcohol, which is what this is bottled at, I'm a little surprised it doesn't have a little more kick. But then again, they're probably going for a rye that maybe people who don't like the really big spicy craft rye could go for, right? People who maybe are coming over from bourbon, people who aren't as into, the craft rye scene. Yeah. So it's not bad. Is it for me? Nah, it's okay. It's very, very okay. But very okay is better than shit. So there you go. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to buy a bottle, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy a bottle. I don't have an ending to that. Anyway, until next time, this has been the Rock Gut Review. Stay safe, stay tuned, because Erica will be back. Stay healthy, subscribe before you leave, hit that like button, because it helps out the channel. And stay rotten.